What happens when a royal figure who spent years distancing themselves from the very institution they were once part of demands the title they've claimed to reject? This isn't some far-off fantasy drama. This is Meghan Markle at the Invictus Games, caught in a moment that nobody expected. Picture this: a packed stadium, athletes from around the world, many of them wounded veterans, all gathered to celebrate their triumph over adversity. The air is electric with pride, strength, and resilience. Among the crowd stands Meghan, smiling, waving, clearly relishing the attention. But then, in the middle of this powerful moment, she asks a decorated athlete, a real hero, to call her princess. What happens next will shock you. The athlete's response? Brutal. He says, "You're no princess." The crowd goes silent. And in that instant, everything changes. This isn't just about a title. It's about identity, power, and the struggle Meghan's been facing since stepping away from the royal family. Was it an innocent request? Or was it something deeper? Something more telling about her ongoing relationship with her royal past? Stay tuned, because today we're diving deep into what happened at the Invictus Games and why this moment is one that's about to haunt Meghan's public image. At the Invictus Games, a stage where the world's most resilient athletes, many of whom are wounded veterans, gather to celebrate the triumph of the human spirit. One particular moment left the crowd in stunned silence. Meghan Markle, standing in the spotlight as she always does, did something unexpected. She requested to be called princess. It wasn't just a simple mistake or a case of a harmless slip-up. This was a moment loaded with tension, one that sparked an uproar far beyond the stadium's walls. Meghan, once a member of the royal family, had long distanced herself from that very institution, even expressing frustration with its restrictions. Yet here she was, demanding a title she never truly held. Why? And more importantly, how did the world react? As Meghan made her requests, the athlete she approached, a decorated veteran, someone who had given so much of himself for his country, responded with an unflinching rejection. "You're no princess," he said, bluntly. "You're not qualified to be one." It wasn't just an awkward exchange. It was a moment of reckoning. The room seemed to freeze. The athlete, unfazed by Meghan's royal background, made a statement that echoed through the entire event. No one was sure how to process it at first. Was this a joke? Was it an innocent correction? Or was it a statement of defiance? An open challenge to the idea that someone could simply demand royal status based on marriage alone? The response came as a shock to many who had been following Meghan's journey. After all, she had spent years publicly critiquing the royal family, speaking about feeling trapped and unprotected, and even declaring her desire to break free from the monarchy's constraints. But that doesn't change the fact that she was still a duchess. She was still tied to the royal family in ways that the public could never forget. So, the question arises, why? After all the years spent speaking out against royal expectations, would she ask to be addressed as a princess? Was it just an innocent, lighthearted remark? Or was it a deeper, more revealing moment, a reflection of her ongoing struggle with her royal identity? Let's break it down. Meghan Markle, married to Prince Harry, has never been a princess in the traditional sense. The title of princess is typically given to those born into the royal family, or granted by royal decree. Meghan's title, Duchess of Sussex, was a courtesy title given to her upon her marriage to Harry. It's a significant title, yes, but not one that carries the same weight or history as that of a princess. So why, after stepping away from royal duties, does she still seek to be recognized by a title she never truly held? This is where the tension begins. The athlete's response, while harsh, struck a chord with many. His statement wasn't just a refusal to comply, it was a direct challenge to Meghan's claim to royal status. For someone like him, who had endured the hardships of war, his perspective on titles was vastly different. To him, titles meant nothing without sacrifice, duty, and honor. And when Meghan, who had not earned her title through service, asked to be called a princess, it seemed to him, and to many others, that she was still clinging to something that she had long declared she wanted to escape. But then, there's the other side of the coin. Supporters of Meghan rushed to her defense. After all, she was married to a prince. She had every right to embrace that identity, didn't she? Wasn't she still a Duchess of Sussex? A member of the royal family? Even if she had stepped down from her official role? Many felt that the athlete's response was out of line, dismissive, and disrespectful. They pointed out that Meghan's request, while bold, was made in the spirit of maintaining a royal formality, something that had been ingrained in her after years of royal life. But here's the catch. If Meghan truly wanted to separate herself from the royal family, why continue to embrace its formalities? Why ask to be called a princess if she had distanced herself from the very institution that granted such titles? This is where the real debate lies. The critics of Meghan argue that her actions are a contradiction. On one hand, she speaks about independence from the monarchy. But on the other, she continues to cling to the benefits and prestige of royal status. When we look at history, we see this pattern repeated: members of royal families who have distanced themselves from their birthright, yet continue to hold on to their titles as a means of securing status or influence. But the reality of royal life is far more complex than simply rejecting or accepting titles. It's about legacy. It's about the weight of centuries of tradition. Titles in the royal family carry with them responsibility, history, and often sacrifice. Meghan, by asking to be called a princess, seemed to be ignoring that history, opting instead for the outward symbols of royalty while distancing herself from the duties and sacrifices that come with them. At this point, let's consider the timing of this incident. Meghan and Harry have spent years building a brand that is separate from the monarchy, promoting themselves as global humanitarians, independent of the royal family's cold, outdated image. But time and again, their actions seem to contradict their narrative. Their multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify, their high-profile interviews, and even their charity work all seem to balance precariously between embracing the perks of royalty and rejecting its constraints. So, what does this incident tell us about Meghan's true feelings toward the royal family? Is she truly independent? Or is she still grappling with the reality that being a part of the royal family, whether you like it or not, carries with it privileges that many people are unwilling to let go of? The way the world has reacted suggests that, for many, Meghan has yet to fully reconcile these contradictions. Social media erupted with hashtags like Princess Debacle and Invictus Drama, turning this brief interaction into a viral event. The debate continues to rage on, with some supporting Meghan and others calling out her hypocrisy. It's clear that Meghan's relationship with the royal family, both the institution and the title she holds, remains a complex and controversial issue. But let's not forget the bigger picture. The Invictus Games were meant to be a celebration of strength and resilience. And while this moment stole the spotlight, it also revealed something deeper about the nature of royalty, power, and identity. It's not just about titles, it's about what those titles represent. For Meghan, it's clear that her struggle isn't just about stepping away from the royal family, it's about what she still wants from it. And as the world watches, the question remains, will she ever truly break free from the legacy of the monarchy? Or will she continue to walk the line between independence and royal connection, hoping to have the best of both worlds? The debate surrounding Meghan's request to be called a princess is not just about a momentary lapse in judgment. It's a reflection of a much larger, ongoing struggle, one that many can relate to: the desire to be recognized, to hold on to the things that bring us status, even when we've distanced ourselves from the very things that made us who we are. Meghan Markle's story is a modern-day exploration of that struggle, a narrative that continues to unfold, with new twists and turns that keep the world guessing. And in the end, the most important question is this: what does Meghan Markle truly want? And, more importantly, what does she still need from the monarchy that she says she's left behind? In the end, what do we take away from this shocking moment at the Invictus Games? Meghan Markle, once a symbol of independence from the monarchy, found herself in a situation that has left us questioning her true relationship with the royal family. Was her request to be called a princess a simple misunderstanding? Or does it reveal deeper contradictions in her actions and identity? While some argue that Meghan had every right to maintain her royal ties, even after stepping down, others see it as a glaring example of hypocrisy. How can someone claim to want independence while still reaching for the perks and titles that come with royal status? This incident has sparked a global conversation about identity, power, and the ongoing struggle between personal freedom and societal expectations. The question is, can Meghan Markle ever fully separate herself from the legacy of the monarchy? Or is she forever tied to it, whether she likes it or not? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Meghan was simply trying to maintain the royal traditions she was once a part of? Or is there something deeper going on? Is it possible for someone to truly leave behind the title and the legacy, or do they remain a part of them forever? Drop your comments below, and let's discuss. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that and subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. I've got more royal analysis coming your way, and you won't want to miss it.